Hi everybody, Richard again here from Electric Classic Cars, and on this week's episode, sponsored by Mouser Electronics and Littelfuse, we're about to find out how difficult it is to wrap such a curvy car as a VW Beetle. Let's get into it. Now, there's certain milestones in any car build which are big, if you like. Number one is getting it going and putting your foot down on that throttle the first time, and I've already had that experience, or taking it to the track. That was the other week. But one big one for me on this is turning this fairly boring white looking car behind me into what I've got in my head, which is quite a detailed design. And that's why we brought it down to Chichester on the south coast to a company called Wrap UK, who are going to get this design out of my head and put it on here. And that's not as easy as you might think. Now, I had an important decision to make, which was whether or not we're going to paint this or wrap it. Now, I went for wrap because it's a bit more cost effective, but also more durable. And if we're going to do a custom paint job on a race car and you prang it, and I will prang it at some point, and you've got to replace a wing, doing a custom repair on that, it's just not going to be good. So we went with a wrap, which is why we brought it down to Ed at Wrap UK. Now, treat me like an idiot, Ed, which is, you know, something that Tim always does with me, and explain to me how a wrap works, because I kind of know, but I've seen it a little bit on YouTube, but really I don't know. So you're the expert. Explain to all the viewers and me, what is a wrap?
So a wrap is a self-adhesive vinyl film,
right,
which we can apply to the vehicle using heat manipulation.
Okay, cool. So I've seen that done on vans, nice and simple. You've got a flat sort of surface and you put it on, you stretch it a little bit and on it goes. I don't think it's going to be as easy on this, is it? No,
it's not, and especially with the design you've gone for, it's going to be a bit more tricky.
More on that design later. Don't give it away yet.
Right.
So one of the concerns I had by going the wrap route was the fact that it's quite an intricate design I had for the car, and I wasn't sure if we could get that intricate design on such a curvy vehicle. But when I spoke to you, you thought we could, couldn't you?
We can, yeah. There's ways of doing it. We'll obviously get to that and show you how. But the biggest problem with, especially a Beetle, is, well, as everyone can see, is the shape of it. But you're working with two compound curves. You've got a curve that way and a curve that way. You tend not to get that so much on normal vehicles.
Yeah.
So as fast as we stretch the material one way, it then causes us, or can cause a problem with coming the other way.
You're kind of starting with a flat two-dimensional, you know, pattern, if you like, and you've got to kind of make it fit on a really three-dimensional car.
Yeah, exactly that.
Now, as well as the overall design, we've obviously got to have, you know, BugZappa down the side and our sponsors' logos down the side, one of which is Littelfuse. So, back to the lab to talk a little bit more about Littelfuse. Right, now Littelfuse. Tim, what do you think Littelfuse does?
Fuses.
Yes, fuses. What kind of fuses?
Little fuses?
Yes, I walked into that one as well, didn't I? Yeah, okay, they do fuses, and we use a lot. Not so little, actually. These are high voltage fuses that we use a lot of on our electric vehicle conversions. But Littelfuse have thousands of products, from rocker switches, a lot of them automotive as well, and a lot of them are to my right-hand side here, circuit protection and all sorts of things. But today, I'm going to be concentrating on these bad boys here, which are power distribution modules, or PDMs, because that's why I'm standing in front of a loom board, and this is a 12-volt loom from a Porsche 911, and all these wires mean nothing if you're not going to have them going into a module like a PDM, like a brains, if you like, that's controlled what's happening with the 12-volt signals. And if I open this one up here, you can see it's got a seal around it, just waterproofing it, IP67 they are. And inside, essentially your relays and your fuses, that when you have your signals coming in here from connectors like that go in like that, these are deciding what to do with those signals and then spreading them then back around the car to do whatever you need them to do. So PDMs are an essential part of all of our electric conversions, and most cars, to be fair, there'll be one, if not, you know, more of these inside every single car. So thanks to Littelfuse for making such awesome products, because without them our life would be a lot more complicated. Now, back to the wrapping. Now, I'm guessing just like decorating a house, not that I've ever done that, obviously. There's a lot of prep work you have to do on this before you actually get into the wrapping side of things, yeah?
Exactly that. I mean, first when the vehicle comes in, the guys will strip off any parts that are going to be in the way based on the design.
Like
that
the
we're
lights
doing,
are gone,
rear
yeah.
lights. Once that's done, then probably one of the most important stages, if not the most important stage, is making sure it's really clean.
Yeah.
So we do a 3-stage clean. We will normally start with the adhesive and tar remover.
Yep.
Once we've done that, we'll then move on to just a standard multi-surface cleaner, and then we'll finish off with an IPA, which is alcohol-based cleaner, just to make sure everything is fully decontaminated. If a clay bar is needed, if certain panels are more contaminated than others, then we can do that.
A clay bar, what's that?
So a clay bar is exactly what it sounds like. It's clay,
Yeah.
and you spray a soapy substance onto the whichever panel you're working on, and you rub the clay over the surface, and that pulls out any contaminants from the paintwork.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
never knew that. All right. Yeah, this came fresh from the drag strip, so I apologise now. There's probably some rubber.
To be
like,
fair, it was
on
pretty good. It was better
Was
than
it?
most that we get.
Oh,
in, so,
good. Okay,
yeah.
fantastic. So it's all cleaned and prepped, ready for like the stuff to go on now, isn't it?
Correct.
I'm saying stuff. It's vinyl.
Vinyl.
Okay,
Self-adhesive
so
vinyl,
it's all ready to start.
Yeah.
All right.
We're ready
Let's
to
have a
go.
chat about exactly how we're going to do it then.
Okay.
Now, after that first stage, that it's clean, and I can smell it's actually clean. It smells really nice. And don't touch the car either and get my greasy fingers on it. After it's nice and clean, what's the next stage? What's going on here, Ed?
Okay, so due to the intricacies, I suppose is the best way of putting it, of the design you've chosen,
Yep.
there's no way of pre-cutting things and laying them on the vehicle.
I've not made your life easy, is what you're saying.
No, no, basically. There's just no way it would work due to the shape of the vehicle. So what Carl's done and is doing here is laying knifeless tape. And simply that is a piece of tape with a nylon thread in it, which you can shape to the shape of the vehicle or
Yep.
to the shape of what you want the graphic cut to.
Right.
You then lay the vinyl, the self-adhesive vinyl on top.
Yeah.
Obviously do what we need to do with that, heat manipulate it so that it's all down and it sticks, and then you pull the nylon thread and that cuts the tape to the shape of
So I can
what you
see
want the graphic.
in this little green tape, there's a tiny little like thread in there.
Tiny little nylon thread,
And
yeah.
it's like, that cuts the nylon sort
Just
of...
pulls straight through the vinyl and cuts the vinyl to the exact shape of what you've done.
I never knew that. I thought that was like a masking tape sort of thing.
And the benefit as well is it avoids any cut lines and things on your paintwork.
Wow.
So now what I'm doing is I'm running knifeless tape along the edge of this bonnet to match it up completely with the other side.
Camera's on.
So, as you can see, we've already fitted a bit of the blue. Now it's time to take the knifeless tape off.
So, as you're doing this, Carl,
Yep.
just explain, because I've seen, you're taking the bottom layer off,
Yep.
which is revealing the adhesive underneath.
Adhesive, yeah, that's
and
correct.
You're sticking that on using a squeegee, is that what
Yeah,
that's called?
a squeegee.
Squeegee to kind of get the shape or get it on there, but also get some of the bubbles out now, or do you do that
Yeah,
later?
so all we're doing with the squeegee is just pushing the vinyl flat
Yeah.
against the vehicle. Any sort of rippling sort of effect that you get, that's usually because of stress and material.
Yep.
So what we do, get a heat gun,
Yeah.
we apply a little bit of heat just to make the vinyl a bit more pliable,
Yeah. Oh, I can see it's gone taut there.
and then
now,
with a
yeah.
bit of tension, we can pull the vinyl flat, using the hand or a squeegee,
Yeah.
just push the air out.
It looks so easy, mate, but I know if I did that, I would have messed it up massively. The hands of experience.
Yeah, exactly that.
So once you've got that on there,
Yeah.
then you've got to use that, what's this called again, the knife tape?
Knifeless tape.
Knifeless tape.
Yeah.
Just to, cut,
Yeah.
like you've done here,
Exactly that.
cut it to the right shape.
And that's the beauty of it, because we put a knifeless tape down, it means that we don't have to cut onto the bodywork. It means that the design is already there for us. So we just gently pull the knifeless tape, pull the nylon all the way through, and then when we peel it back, the design
Brilliant.
is already perfectly cut for us.
I bet that feature, the knifeless tape, just revolutionised wrapping, really.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, a lot less mistakes.
No idea. I mean, what did you do before that came out?
You just use a knife.
Really?
Use a knife.
Wow. Right, I've noticed on this,
Yep.
there's more than just 2 layers, because I thought there was just a backing one.
Yeah,
and
so
then
you've got the backing
vinyl.
paper, then you've got the vinyl, and then on top, you've got this cap sheet.
So a cap sheet is just a see-through, like...
Best way to describe it is like cling film,
Right.
and what that does, it protects the vinyl for when we're squeegeing it.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, it's got light scratching in it.
Yeah.
Cap sheet eliminates all that as soon as we pull that off.
Wow.
Perfect gloss finish.
The shiny bit. Fantastic. Right, I just saw you guys put that section on there,
Yeah.
and if I'm honest, I didn't think I was going to go on, because when it was all flat, it was miles away, until you started heating it,
Yeah.
and then it just magically stretched and went on. So how much can you actually stretch this stuff?
I mean, you can. Normally, we say no more than anything from sort of 15 to 20% of its original self. The key with any stretch is A, knowing what you're fitting it to and what the material can take. That just comes with time and experience, and also releasing the tension. You know, if you have a huge amount of tension and then you finish that tension right off on an edge,
Yeah.
all that's going to happen is that vinyl's going to creep back,
Yeah.
and the wrap's going to fail.
Right.
So it's a case of knowing how to release the tension with the correct amount of heat and when to release it. One of the key things with any wrap is once this is done, is it would then get post-heated afterwards. So post-heating is where you literally go round what you've just wrapped with a heat gun, and you post-heat the surface temperature or the vinyl temperature, anything, depending on the manufacturer, anything from 80 to 120 degrees.
Wow,
And that
didn't
then
know that.
that then recasts the material to the shape of the vehicle or what you've put it on.
So
And
you've
that
got to go
stops
around
it
the whole
failing.
car afterwards, and then heat it all back up,
Yeah.
just to get it to kind of reset itself.
Exactly, it recasts itself to the shape of the vehicle. If you don't do that, the wrap will fail. It will just end up creeping back and pinging back, and you'll end up with something that looks awful.
Wow, man, I'm learning.
There you go.
So I'm seeing Carl put this like fairly big section on here now.
Yeah.
But I know from experience, like wallpaper in my house, for instance, air bubbles were everywhere. But I'm not seeing any air bubbles here. But surely sometimes there are air bubbles. And what happens then?
Yeah, I mean, we're quite lucky. The adhesive technology's come on a long way from when vehicle wrapping first started.
Right.
So now they actually stamp air channels into the back of the adhesive.
No way.
So if you look at the back of the adhesive, you probably wouldn't get it on camera, but it looks like a bit like a snake skin on the back.
Right, okay.
And that basically is allows for air to a bubble for the air to be just pushed
Just
straight
escapes?
out. Yeah, just escapes. Yeah.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
So that's why there's no air bubbles I'm seeing anyway. Obviously, Carl is real skilled at his job. So
Yeah,
he's not
it
getting
makes
any air
it
bubbles
look
in
a
it.
bit easier, definitely. But no, exactly that. It's due to the air
Adhesives
channels.
like in the back of it.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Wow. So if do you ever get air bubbles at all in it? as well?
Yes, yeah, I mean it can happen. It can happen often, but it is literally a case of just push it out. Just push down on it, and the air will dissipate, and the bubble will go. You don't need to pinprick anything like you used to.
I'll tell you what, just with this little bonnet section that the guys have finished off here, it's completely transformed, isn't it?
It's really lifted it, isn't it? It looks great.
It's amazing, but I don't think there's much value of us sticking around, because this is going to take the guys a few days to do this properly, and thanks to Ed and Carl at Wraps UK, because the work they've done, I never realised how much in depth there is to do a wrap properly. So I've learnt a lot today, but we're going to leave them alone now for a few days to finish this off, because the next time you're going to see it is finished up at Santa Pod, because we're going to go drag racing again this weekend at full power. So I think we'll leave the boys to it and cut to Santa Pod. Right, boys and girls, we're here, Santa Pod, and BugZappa's here, which means only one thing: the geniuses down at Wrap UK have finished it. And I tell you what, I've seen it, and all credit to Ed and Carl and the boys at Wrap UK, because it is fantastic. But enough of the waiting around. I'm sure you're all itching to see it. So, glamorous assistant time, please, Tim. I'm going to need you to do the ta-da.
Ta-da!
Right, and boys and girls at the in YouTube land, drum roll, please. May we present BugZappa. There we go. Look at that. Tell you what, I am so pleased with the result. What do you think about it? Comments below, please. But I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm chuffed to bits with the way that this has turned out. Right, let's give you a little bit of a tour around the car, because down at Rap UK you saw Carl and Ed making the bonnet area up, but you've not seen the rest of it. So Tim, you'll have to follow me around, because this is not an easy wrap, I have to tell you, because it's kind of like doing 4 wraps in one. You've got the orange, the red, the blue, and with that knife tape that they use, you've got to be super accurate and get all the lines right to match all the other colours that you've already put on. This is not easy, but the guys down at Rap UK have done a heck of a job. So anybody who wants to Rap UK are the guys to see. But down the side here, you can see the ECC logo, the BugZappa name, the Mauser logos. Oh, I can't wait to get out there. The main Mauser logo here and some of the other sponsors we've got for the car. Thanks to those guys, by the way. And if you come around the back, you get the full impact of the design that we've gone for on the car itself. Now, the air-cooled VW boys amongst you, like me, will instantly recognise what this is, but a lot of you out there won't have a clue. So let's give you a little bit of a history lesson, if you like, of my favourite race car liveries, because there is 3. Number 1 is Martini Racing, and my rally car was done in Martini, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It's Porsche mainly that went with Martini, I think. Oh, and Lancia. Lancia. So Martini I like, but I've done, because the rally car was done in Martini. There's JPS, which was John Player's special.
Yeah, Lotus.
Of course it was Lotus, Tim would know that. I love that car. The classic Formula 1 70s. Was it late 70s?
That's it, yeah.
Beautiful design. And the other was this design. And everybody out there who knows is shouting at the screen now, Inch Pincher 2. So what was Inch Pincher 2? Well, Inch Pincher 2 was a really famous drag racing car back in the day. I think it was the 70s. I don't think it was late 60s. There was another one, Inch Pincher 1, which was like a red, orangey flame colour. But it was Inch Pincher 2, this livery, that I really fell in love with. It was roof chopped, it had a plexiglass roof. I just loved the design of it. So when I built the race car, I thought I have to do a homage to my favourite ever drag racing car, Inch Pincher 2. And that's why it looks like this. Right, we've come to Santa Pod today not to just look at this car, we've come to race, which is why I brought my helmet. And talking about helmets, I would really like to get this to look like that. I don't know how you do that, whether or not you paint it or you put a wrap on it, but anybody that knows, comments below please, because I'd really like this to look like that. And on that note, what do you think of the actual design? Comments below. Do you like it, love it, loathe it? I don't know, but it'd be really interesting to think, what do you think of the BugZappa livery that we've gone for? Because I think Rap UK have done a fantastic job of a difficult wrap on this. So thanks to you guys down there, to Ed and to Carl at Rap UK for doing this, and also massive thanks as well to our sponsors, Mauser Electronics. Go to mauser.com for all your electronics needs, and the sponsor of this episode as well, Littelfuse. So on that note, I think there's some really strange looking blue clouds in the sky, so it's a perfect day to go racing. So I'm going to go and grab my helmet, sign on and go racing. So make sure you subscribe on this channel to see the next episode where we go full power drag racing in BugZappa. I'll see you there.